let's try for another 15-minute game. While we're waiting, let's look at top players maybe. If we can. Okay. Beach Sprout? No. Kirill Georgiev, Blitz Master. So there's a 3-minute game. Here's an IM from, what flag is that? Hungary. And this is Armenia. Flag test. This could be tricky for white. That's got 1 or 2 pawns. Mind you, black has only 15 seconds. I don't think black's going to make it on time. Who is Cycloica? Parent Melkumyan. Okay, we got game big fill back. Should we watch? Let's play a couple of moves and then watch that game for a sec. 11 seconds to these 2 connected pass pawns. Are they going to win the day? Oh, this bishop's overloaded. I think white's had it. Bishop's overloaded. Black looks better, but he's only got 6 seconds. Sorry. Let's just go back here. Is this going to finish or? Okay, so if I'm playing 92 for a sec, I'll go back to the game. Let's get my opponent waiting. No, it's too much pressure on white, surely. Now he's just gone, isn't it? Queen. Oh, he's going to lose on time anyway. Oh, it's a draw, there's no mating material. It's a draw. Yep. Drawn. The opponent took a while to play that move. Okay, interesting. Big fill. Now, is his history filled with solid wins? Yes. There was a loss there. Oh dear. Okay. Let's see how it goes. It looks alright, this position anyway. I think knight f3. Not bishop c4, got nice light squares to work with. c7 pressure already. So that bishop c4 looks okay. Surely. Bishop c4 or even d4. For e5, if he takes bishop c4 for a moment. Because maybe knight g5 if knight f6. So castles and d4. Interesting. Also b7 weak to the last move. f7 is queen b3. Knight g5 just takes. So I think queen b3. What did he do? Is queen b3. Double attack. I can't see what he does there. Plays knight h6. Queen b7, knight d7. Some sort of gambit. What about knight f5? Is that any better? I'll still have that anyway. So I think queen b3. Tempting anyway. In fact, if bishop f3, I've got the option of queen takes. Without any structural damage, without going for the gambit. or bishop f7 and then taking. So he plays knight h6, say. That d4 there. Bishop takes, queen takes, I'll be threatening bishop h6. d4 might be possible to knight h6 instead of queen b7. So knight h6, knight c6 takes, and knight a5 is just check. So d4 might be a stronger play. Castles, bishop h6, g takes, d takes, bishop takes, pawn takes. So the question, queen b7 or d4? I think d4's more adventurous, so I'll play that. Just, I don't want to go in for a gambit, particularly with queen b7 and knight d7. Let's go for structural damage instead. In fact, if it takes and the bishop takes, there's rook g1 for knight f5. If the castle, yeah, that's going to be trouble for g7. So I think I will take like this. Just keeping the idea of bishop takes and knight f5. Keeping the queen on f7 means that actually I'm still threatening bishop takes and bishop f7. So if he castles, I just take and then knight f5. That's queen g5, h4. Okay. So this g-file's promising. Is he going to castle into it? Knight f5, queen g5 is a better rook g1's queen g5 anyway if he wants. So queen g5 there. There's h4, queen g2. Don't know. What about just taking and then castling? Check, king moves, takes, knight f5, threatening rook g1, king moves. That's bishop takes f7 there. Or just rook g1. I think that's okay. So this looks like a bad situation for black, superficially. I'm hoping it is a bad situation. What does he do here? This knight f5 would be quite juicy. That's the justification knight being there. If I can take in the knight f5. Well, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. So knight f5 or castles. That's the question. Or d takes, maybe? Then I can't castle, we'll be cutting king away. I think there's no rushes there for knight f5. That's his castle. So check, I move the king, and I look forward to knight f5. Right, so it does that check. f7 is going to be vulnerable if he ever moves his king. So knight f5, rook g1 on the cards. Knight f5 looks pretty juicy to me. Knight c6, could put a spinner in the works. Not yet. Okay, so threatening now rook g1. So bishop f7 is a good forcing move for knight h6s. If you want to defend there, there's rook g1. Looks pretty crushing actually. This looks pretty crushing. It's good coordination between all the pieces here. The knight dominant on f5, bishop's on f7, queen's just threatening to do that, but I don't really want to do that. So his immediate threat to parry is rook g1, any rook to g1. So king h8, rook g1. Where does the queen go? Queen f6. Does that really help? Okay. Probably. There's check, there's rook g7. Well, there's check and rook g4 for rook h4. Or does f4 for e5? No, e5, I'll lose that knight. Okay, I'll just hold on a sec. I'm just gonna okay, let's see, rook g1 check, king h8. Can I get back on that diagonal? It's queen b7. There's knight g7. There's rook g7. I'll play it. So queen d3 is dangerous, or knight takes might be for queen d4. He protects d4. Now he can't with c5 because of knight d6. So queen d3 is actually an interesting move. There's knight c6. There's what about bishop f7? No, he's on that. Knight g7, then he wouldn't be. Or rook g7. Threatening bishop takes f7, that looks pretty dangerous because that also facilitates doubling the rooks and attacking the queen. Queen moves somewhere, the other rook moves in. The other tasty alternative is queen b7, but I think rook g7 looks quite nice because of that bishop f7, so I think I'm going to go for that. Of course, you could play that, get two pieces. I don't think that's brilliant. So bishop f7, immediate threat, and that would actually give me e6 for the queen if that f7 drops, which could be useful for getting on the diagonal. Also queen d5 next, if the bishop's out of the way over there. So what does he do about f7? I think he's in severe trouble here. I think Big Phil's getting crushed, but that's just my intuition. In practice, there's resources. So knight c6, bishop f7. It might be queen b7 later. Right, so he's let me play bishop f7 here. So shall I play it? I think it's too tempting not to play. So now there's a question, actually, where does his queen move? Queen e6, then he takes the rook. Sorry, queen h3. Okay, so what do I do about that? So queen b7. No, that'll drop. I've got to be careful here after his next move. Queen h3, queen h2. So let's work this out. Queen h3. Doubt queen e6 does anything. It just takes, bishop takes, the knight's pinned. Right, so do I move the rook? Rook g8 maybe? Rook takes, check. King moves, queen e6, queen f7. Bishop g8, bishop takes. If I just double rooks, I don't think so. Not quite there, is it? So rook g1. Then look forward to queen e6. I think rook g1. Can't see too much wrong. You could take here and threaten over here. Apart from that, but what else is there? Is there anything really that decisive? Queen e6, bishop g7. Knight takes. No, I can't see that. What about rook g4, just to keep the rooks potentially doubling? So he takes rook g1, threatening rook g8, knight c6. There's knight h6 there if the queen goes off at h6, so I'll still be threatening rook g8. all sorts. I think rook g4, if h5, rook g5, we'll just go back to g1. Rook g4 also maybe means f4, for bishop f4, queen e6. I'm going rook g4. Keeping the option of doubling the rooks. So queen f2, queen e6 would be a blunder. No, it's not mate yet. Actually, the bishop would be attacked. That wouldn't be a blunder. Got to move this pawn as well. He's only got bishop and queen kind of to be worried about at the moment. Knight c6. Double the rooks, threatening then stuff like sacking queen and rook g8. So I think doubling the rooks is queen e6 here, knight f6. I think queen e6 is also tempting. As soon as he plays that, I take that. Unless he plays d3. Plays d3. I can take on d7. So I think queen d6, knight f6. Well, I don't take that because he's got that. What do I do there? There's rook h4. Disruptive f4 here. Bishop takes. Then there's queen e6. I think I might play f4 just to gain a bit of time here. If knight f6, worry about that when it comes, or just play rook h4. I think that's interesting. Also there's queen d5 on d7. f6. I think that's still interesting. Queen d5 threatening queen d4. I think f4 just to gain some time. Well, is that being silly? I just want to double up rooks really, and maybe bishop e8 to threaten rook g8. But it gives me g7 again. So rook, bishop takes rook g1, knight f6, rook g7 without bishop g7. I want to just rook h. No, not rook h4. Nope, don't know. Am I fluffing this up? What's the real point of f4? Is there any point? He takes on f4, slightly weakens that diagonal. There's queen f3, that doesn't really help. Unless I want rook g2. Where would the queen move after rook g2? Queen's trapped. Knight e5 I just take here. Oh no, I'm losing that one. So that bishop's a bit of a liability actually at the moment. Oh dear. Double the rooks, knight e5. Sorting out his problems. Like knight e5 is queen f6, so maybe queen e6 here to stop knight e5. Before actually rook f7 would be even worse. So I think queen e6 is generally a useful move here. I'll play that. Knight moves as queen f6, knight e5, queen f6. He's got to move the knight somewhere. In fact, queen d7 will be a threat for rook g8 soon. So rook g1, queen f2, queen d7. It's queen g1 though. Takes, then takes. Okay, so not really sure. Not sure after rook d8. Rook dg1. Threat. What is the threat? It looks crushing, but proof is in the pudding. I can't find the proof yet. not convincingly enough. Rook d8, rook dg1, queen takes f2. What about here? Actually, just bishop e8. That will threaten rook g8. Interference. And that looks pretty strong, actually. Yeah, for rook g8. So just give up the bishop for rook g8. The three things. No, he's got 2 and the king. Okay. So, let's go through this again. Rook d8, rook dg1. Queen takes f2. Now in this position, resources, surely. There isn't queen h6, or there isn't rook f4. He's offering the knight. It's unexpected. He's going for the mate over here. Bit of a cheapo. Can I not parry that somehow? I suppose maybe he thinks his position's desperate or something. He's going for that, but he needs to take on there first. So I've got time to take on d7 here, d3, and I'll go back to e5. I'll take there, I think. So if d3, I play queen e6 to stop queen f2, that's queen e5. If queen f2, queen e6 again. So if d3, I just take on e5. Well, it looks as though it's simpler. I think that's I think that's a goner for black now. Clearer cut than earlier. Okay. So he got in trouble at the opening. He's resigned here. He was in big trouble at the opening. Let's have a quick look. So probably surprised him with this knight c3 against d5, and I just thought this position was great already, and f4 might have been useful, I don't know, theoretically. Comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.